What's up, y'all? This is Deante Hitchcock, and I just jumped off the porch with Daddy Glove Bastard.
Met this little diva from the west side. I won't say it's love, but I will fight you.
All right, y'all. So we got the Deante Hitchcock with us off the porch today.
What's happening? What's happening?
Man, you mentioned you ain't getting no sleep. Let's talk about it.
Oh, we jumping straight in. All right.
We jumping straight in.
Ain't getting no type of sleep. All right, so you already know how I go. Can relate to it. I got my little man over there in the back. Otto Saint, big Otto. You know what I mean? I just had a jit. My first one. Very first one. Like, he fresh out 2 months, 2 weeks. This shit crazy.
Gee. So, fatherhood.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. How is it going for you so far?
So far, I'm just trying to I'm still taking it all in. Slick, you know what I mean? It's still one day at a time. Cause we still slick fresh, for real. Like he's still doing all the little baby shit. Like he's still cluster feeding. You know about the cluster feeding joint?
Cluster feeding.
Yeah. So basically we feed him every maybe 2 to 3 hours, but he got these periods of time maybe once per month, a week, where he eat every hour on the hour. And he breastfeed now too. So I'm about to say he be getting real demanding and shit. So he be on 10. It's it feels like a different chapter in life. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you know what I mean? Niggas getting older, niggas learning different shit, and it's teaching me certain things about myself already. That shit's kind of weird, shawty, because it's I've known him for 2 months, literally. Ain't too many people on this earth that I've known for 2 months that I could be like, damn, I love this person, you know what I mean? I don't know shit about him for real. All I know is this is something that came out of me and Shawty, our love for each other. We learning about him every day, just like he learning about us. That shit crazy, man.
Wow, you just explained parenthood so beautiful. But I was gonna tell you earlier when we were talking about it how, it really is so much easier when you have two parents helping each other, especially within the first few months, because you're not getting no sleep.
None. And I can't even lie. Any of my homegirls, moms, aunties, all that shit, I got so much more respect for. Even some of the single dads out there, you know what I'm saying, for the folks who doing it like that, I got so much more respect for them now after going through this period. Cause it's if I didn't have Shawty with me, bro, I'd be losing my shit right now. I'd be done pulled all these fucking little twists out. That shit be gone, bro. It's different. It's different, cause they don't really care. All of the things that make our day normal, you know what I'm saying, the schedule, all this, that, and the third, they don't care about none of that shit. I be trying to get certain stuff done, and he'll look at me bro, I don't give a fuck about none of that, bro. Feed me, change me, so it's just different.
Yeah, it's you're reaching new levels of selfless.
Yeah.
And then people don't understand, you gotta give them everything before you give yourself. Everything before you give yourself any of that.
Everything.
You got
bro.
food that you really wanna eat, you sharing it.
But see the way, Shawty going everything she been watching, what she eat, now that because he eats directly out for her and shit. So even choices like that, it's all that selfish shit go out the window. All that goddamn, it teaches you patience, it teaches you selflessness, and it teaches you a lot about just who you are as a person, Shawty. And I'm only 2 months in, so I can only imagine somebody who got a 6-year-old, who got a 10-year-old, who got a 28-year-old, you know what I mean? Looking back at certain shit now, I can see why my mom was so tweaked out about me going up the street, or me going out of town, or telling me to call her when I make it here, and this, that, and the third.
Right.
It's bro, I'd be tweaked before he even got here. Once it was that last month shit, I was damn, I can't even imagine him being in another room, you feel me, with somebody else. Even my mom, or even my cousins or something like that, I can't fathom this shit. Bro, I don't want him out of my sight. So I get why my folks was yo, nah, this shit for real, because it is. It's the most precious thing they got.
Especially when you only got one.
Yeah.
When you got one, oh yeah, I'm so paranoid with my daughter. I be like, is anybody bullying you? That's the first,
that shit for real.
Is anybody bullying you at the school?
Yeah.
You be ready to pop it up for your kid.
Fuck we saying though. First we get all the love, fuck don't be giving a damn about the second one. That shit be crazy. The second would be the experimental baby. Just do whatever.
I was middle child, definitely the experimental
man. So you, sorry about that.
The second one be the wildest though. Them be the ones that'll give you a run for your money.
So you was out there raising hell. I see.
I mean, you know, we jumped off the porch a little early, like.
Pun intended.
But man, so, okay, we got to talk about you jumping into, you know, the poetry game.
Yeah.
So the 2 poems that we had, the first one, I'm going to go into the Ahhh Man.
Oh, man.
You got to talk to us about how the poetry even came about in all of that.
I ain't okay, I just be doing shit, shout out, like, I know that shit for real. Like, niggas was watching, what's that shit? I don't even remember the damn title of that shit. What's the shit with Lorenz Tate and Nia Long?
Hold up. Love Jones.
There you go, that shit. You know what shout to do, bro, do the Brother to the Night shit, the poetry.
Yeah.
That joint. And niggas was watching, it was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? That shit'd be kind of funny if he was up there just talking about random bullshit, you feel me? But not random to the point where it's like it don't make no sense. Shit that's actually relatable, but it's just funny, you know what I mean? And they just started writing poems from that point. Like, I ain't never did no poetry in my life.
Now, you know, social media went crazy with the Let Me Eat It poem. Like, they was like...
Man, because them niggas be going through the same shit. Niggas dealing with the same thing.
Now, what is the backstory with that? Or was it just like a vintage space?
Man, you trying to get me in trouble. My shawty right there. You trying to get me fucked up.
I know, I love
Man.
it. We love her.
Nah, that shit for real. It's some old shit, you feel me? Like, niggas will go through the same shit every time. You go through Valentine's Day, you get birthday, Christmas present, all that shit, and you get the same thing. Like, literally, like, shawty don't even know you for real. It's like, damn, nigga, bitch, I wanted a shirt. Or something like that, like shit. I like goddamn shoes. I like video games. It is shit. Be like, yeah, pussy again. Like, you shouldn't have. Like, goddamn, shawty.
I will say, you know, I kind of feel for you guys a little bit because when it comes to the holidays, y'all are expected to show up
and show out. Man, you be giving?
That's my love language. I love to naturally give gifts. So
right.
I'ma do that. But you know, I be seeing the guys on Twitter, like, damn, like I'm so glad I don't got no woman on Valentine's Day, Christmas.
I'm talking about because you gotta show out, especially if you just got with shawty or if y'all been together for an extremely long time. Like, you gotta show out every time, bro. From that point, it's like especially if you started out showing out, then you gotta keep that same level of shit throughout the years. But y'all be getting nothing. Not to say she be giving, she crazy with it.
Now, I did watch a recent interview. Speaking of love, I know that you and your beautiful lady have been together for a very long time. So I wanted to ask you, what is it like experiencing a person for so long without falling out of love?
I think love is an interesting topic for real, because I think you can, not to say that we have, but you can, you know what I mean? Love is more of a choice, you know what I'm saying? You have infatuation, you have passion, and you have love. You know what I'm saying? These are all different things. But I think being with somebody for an extended period of time allows you to see a lot of different sides. You know what I mean? Like, if you with somebody for 3 months or some shit like that, it's a honeymoon phase, you feel me? Like, everything's sweet. You don't really know that person when they broke. And you don't really know that person when they up. You know what I'm saying? Because people different in every season of their life. Like, shit, and you ain't never seen that person depressed. You ain't never seen that person deal with grief or death or any of that shit. So being with somebody for an extended period of time allows you to see all those sides, and it allows you to really make that choice. Like, is this somebody, you know what I'm saying, that I feel like I'm compatible with? Is this something that I see for the long run? Because I've seen all the different sides. So you know, if you in the industry like music or entertainment or whatever the case, anything where you end up making a substantial amount of money or status or influence or whatever, that this person isn't necessarily gonna change once you get it, because you've seen them through their ups and downs. You feel me? So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
You said it's pretty cool. You know what? That's so crazy. Like, I feel like anybody that is able to find their person, especially nowadays, the way the dating pool is, it's ghetto over here.
Man, that shit wild out here, boy. My cousins be telling me some shit. Like, can't relate. Yeah, damn.
Now, I would say a big thing for me, just like this week, is being present for myself, because it's been kind of hard, especially when you're balancing like multiple things and of course your personal life. So I wanted to ask you, what are some ways that you make sure that you're present for yourself, like balancing fatherhood and then also being able to be an artist?
I ain't gonna keep you down. I'm still figuring that shit out. Like, that shit's tough, shout out, for real. In any, like, especially in this industry, let me not say any, especially in this one, like, it feels like when you're trying to break through, it's so much kind of noise to cut through. Like, you know how many folk be dropping music every day? You know how many TikToks get posted every day? Like, all of that shit is so much to get through, but you have to find a way. You have to keep up with the competition. You gotta drop just as much. You gotta put out just as much content. But at the same time, like, my music, I say, comes from a place of like personal experiences and shit like that. So I have to be present in my life to be able to put out certain shit. Because otherwise the shit gonna sound hollow, you feel me? Like, I ain't trying to put out no hollow music that just don't sit right with me. So it's a tough balance, you know what I mean? And some days are better than others. Some days, you know what I'm saying? Me and Shawty be getting into it, it's like, you've been working too much today or some shit like that. But she understands what the end goal is and she understands what I'm trying to get to. So, you know what I'm saying? We lenient with each other because, you know what I'm saying? In her case as well, she has some days where she's super focused on work. But we got a whole fucking life to take care of now. Like, we got a person, now it's like, he depends on us for everything. Food, goddamn knowledge, waking up, everything. Learn how to talk, learn how to do anything. So, I don't know, it's a balance. I ain't gonna lie to you and say I figured it out, because I ain't, but I'm trying every day. You feel me?
Right. Now, I really hate saying this word, conscious.
I ain't no conscious rapper, I'm not gonna lie to you.
With the style with the content that you rap about, and you know how you spoke about, like, you gotta constantly keep up with like TikTok, all this other stuff, can it affect you creatively at times with the many rules of?
Hell nah, I'm fine. Alright, so there ain't no period, I'm fine, that shit. Like, music, I ain't never really had to worry about creating shit. I mean, it might be periods of time where it's like, might get writer's block or some shit like that, but that shit be over quick. The only thing I really be, keep the bean, the shit that I have the hardest or the most trouble with is the, I guess, the business side or the entertainment side of all of that shit. Cause like, for the most part, I ain't really like this super public person and shit like that. Like, I don't be trying to throw everything out and shit like that, but you have to be almost in today's age. Cause you got some folk, shit, the music might be trash. I'd be like, if I like you as a person, shit, I buy into whatever you selling. If I say it could be trash music, it could be trash clothes, you could be selling goddamn cookie dough. I buy it if I fuck with you. And if you got an audience to sell any of that shit, you can. So, I don't know, it's trying to figure that out for the most part.
The business side.
Yeah, that shit tough.
It be some rules. You're like, why can't I just create?
Like, if I go follow you on Instagram, I could tell you X, Y, and Z about you before I even meet you, shawty. And that shit's crazy. I went to fucking Hooters. This was probably like, Hooters over there by the Hard Rock Cafe and shit. You know where it is downtown? It's probably like 4 or 5 years ago. And I pulled up, and one of the servers, she knew about the music and shit. And she asked me about Shawty, she asked me about my mom, she asked me about my little brother, like, was he going to college? Like, this is my first time ever meeting you, and that shit kind of made me draw back a little bit, because that shit, it's weird. It's a little weird, but I mean, that's part of this shit, so.
So what was your response? You're kind of like, girl, how you know something?
I mean, like, initially my response is respond, you know what I mean? Like, everybody's cool, but thinking back on it after I got done with the conversation, I was like, damn, that's kind of strange. Just a little bit, but everybody meant well, so that ain't no problem. But it's still weird. Weird as fuck.
Yeah, I don't know how I could handle it. Like, my mouth, I'd be like, girl, what you asking me this for?
That shit crazy. Like, how do you even know all that shit? But that's the world we in. And that shit changing, and that's the type of shit that be making me think, like, how the fuck we finna raise, bruh? Cause nigga, everything's changing, literally, and fast as hell. And I read this shit the other day, it's like, well, not even the other day, I read this shit a minute ago. We done experienced like more technological advances as a society in the last 50 years than all the time, ever. And that shit tripped me the fuck out, shawty, cause literally the world that we living in today is completely different from what our grandparents saw. Our grandparents have just got like washers and dryers and shit. And like, we done had so many changes in our life, it's hard to even keep up with this shit. And that shit do something to our attention span, it do something to us, it's like interacting with each other and all that shit. And I know his shit gonna be 10 times worse. Not worse, let me not say worse, cause it's a
I know, but it's just like the way that society is right now, especially with the younger kids, what they see, what they're witnessing.
Everything.
It's so much. It's like, as a parent, you can only do so much of protecting, because if they don't see it whenever, like, you know, you try to protect them for that, if they're not gonna see it with you, it's like they go to school and like the kids, like, it's crazy.
You just gotta do the best you can in your house and shit. That's it. But that's trippy, because like, I don't have all my shit figured out, let alone to be able to teach somebody else, like to give them the whole blueprint for life. That shit is wild. Literally, you have a child and they don't know nothing, bro. Like you gotta give them A, B, C, D, all the way to Z on how to survive, how to learn, like moral compass, all of that shit. That shit crazy, man. So,
what are some things that you say you still haven't figured out yet?
Shit. I don't want to say who I am for real because I feel like that changes over time, but I feel like I am always searching for like something that feels like it's missing in myself or some shit like that. But I feel like we're supposed to change throughout life though, until we die. Because if not, anything that's not changing is dead already. But I don't know, I still feel like I got shit to figure out, to chip away at myself. You know what I mean? That for sure. Patience for sure. I feel like, who the fuck is asleep? Yeah, knocked out. He got 2 kids, so I understand that shit. I don't know, I've really been thinking about like mortality lately too, shawty. Like, I had this fucking existential crisis down there in Texas. Me and my homegirl was out in Texas and Houston like, probably like 4 or 5 months ago. And I saw this fucking dude, it was like a homeless dude out in the middle of the street and shit. And nigga was tripping. He was literally tripping. And I was like, damn, that nigga crazy. But in my head, I was like, damn, that's how I perceive him to be type shit. What if he got down? Well, he probably does. He probably thinks he's just fine. You know what I mean? He probably thinks he's straight and nothing wrong. All that shit, and it made me think of like how people see me, and that led me ultimately back to how my child sees me, and then that led me back to, damn, this image of self that I have, you know what I mean, is completely different for every person that I see throughout life. And that shit had me going down a rabbit hole, and it was like, damn, this shit is so short. Who gives a fuck about what people think about me? And that it just kept going. It kept going, and I've been thinking about death.
That's crazy, because I do battle with that, because it's like on one end, it's like, okay, you know what, fuck what everybody has to think. Yeah. But then at the same time, it's like, you can't be too loose with that, because you still have an image, and I hate to even say the word image, but you still have to keep some parts of you like contained.
Like, you don't want folk to be like, man, that'd be crazy as hell, dog. Like everybody yeah. ain't lying. So I don't know, it's just trippy, dog. Like, but it's so short that it'd be like, damn, who cares? But at the end, it's like, damn, it is so short. So damn, I should care what everybody cares, because I want to live a decent and fulfilling life and shit. But I don't know, it's just a back and forth. Like, and it's even worse now that he's here, man, because like I'm trying to figure out all of that shit and be able to teach him so I can teach him so he doesn't have to necessarily overthink as much as I do. You know what I mean? Or go through the same like pitfalls that I went through. I want him to be able to, goddamn, just learn from all my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Like any parent would, you feel me? But at the same time, I know he's gonna have to go through certain shit to figure it out on his own. You gotta bump your head a couple times.
That's the scary part about parenthood, is like, you gotta give your child enough space to actually figure out life on their own, but then you don't want them to do it.
Go way too far out, cause like, damn, now my nigga a crackhead. Like,
oh fuck,
I done screwed up. Like, I don't know, that shit wild, bro. I don't know, it's a learning experience though. But we got time. We got hella time. We're gonna look up one day and then they're gonna be at 18 and he gonna be out on his own.
I love that you're actually looking at your child right now and like,
bruh, that shit crazy, bro. Like, just wild.
Now we gotta get into the music.
I don't even do music no more, man.
You say you don't do music no more?
I'm gonna be a stay-at-home dad.
Oh my gosh, no, but I know that you are from Atlanta. Actually, okay, this might be a little weird.
Okay.
But I did not know that you have like some Michigan roots.
Oh yeah, like that's like home away from home. My mama, she was born in New York, but she lived in Detroit. Like her whole life, she grew up there. My grandma, my granddad out there, and my auntie still up there now. Like, that's literally home away from home. Detroit, Southfield, all that shit. Yeah.
So did you have to go like back and forth sometimes?
Not for real. Living for me, I spent a lot of summers in Michigan, for the most part. Yeah, but I ain't never like actually had to address that myself. But yeah, a lot of summers.
And I know you picked up the skating hobby, like you like to ice skate and shit.
I don't really like to ice skate. I've been running that lie for a long time. I'm gonna go ahead and nip this shit in the bud right here. I don't know how to ice skate it out, but I'm gonna learn now just to fuck with folks.
Oh, okay. So,
but I can roller skate.
Roller skate.
My ass off.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just moved here, have yet to go roller skating.
You sleep.
I gotta catch the vibe.
Y'all be roller skating in Dallas though.
Yeah, but I gotta catch that cascade. Do I feel like a tourist?
A little bit. It's okay though. It's all right. You only been for a year. You got time.
Yeah, like, you know, I gotta get the Cascade vibe,
got time,
you know.
right.
So talk to us about your Atlanta roots and what it truly means to be from Atlanta.
All right, I got probably two, because, you know what I'm saying, I'm a redder put a gerrymander line in the whole city. So look, I was born in Grady Memorial. Was in Southwest Atlanta for like 7 years until my folks got together. And then we moved to the South Side, which is Metro Atlanta, that's Clayco. So I've been in Clayco ever since. And then I moved to get down the East Side, over there in Decatur and all that shit, probably like the last 5 years of my life. So, from all around this motherfucker. But to go back to the question and shit, just had to clear that up before we tweaking. We from Atlanta, Charlotte, it's just different. It feel like the best place in the world for real. It feel like the greatest city in the world. It's already like chocolate city. It's black folk everywhere. It should be tripping me out too, cause like, you ever been anywhere else like Miami or goddamn, not Maine. Maine is obviously full of white folk. Even Detroit, even Michigan and all that shit, like, you don't see as many black people in like one concentrated place. Yeah, besides the city. Even outside of the city limits, like, if you go to goddamn Roswell and Cobb and all that shit, it's like, you really see that we're the minority everywhere else. But living here, it doesn't feel like that. So that's already amazing. There's black people everywhere. I love that shit. Second, music-wise, we got not even music-wise, like any type of art form, period, we got every flavor imaginable. Like, going back to music, you got the same city that gave you Andre 3000, also gave you Kilo Ali, also gave you Thug, also gave you Gucci, also gave you Future. Like, it's so many different fucking people from here. Up Lil Nas X, all these folks, it's like, there's no box for here. So I love that shit. And I think that has something to do with like the structure of the city, maybe. Cause like, you'll go to goddamn the Bluff and you got these fucking tore down, run down spots, but then you look right up the street and you can literally see mansions up the street type shit. So I'm about to say something about the juxtaposition of the way the city's set up, I think makes for a really, really good melting pot for everybody. I mean, so I like that shit. It's a lot of flavor here.
I also love how a lot of the artists like grew up together. So that leads me to ask you, is there any artists that you grew up with?
Grew up with off top, I feel like I'm gonna forget somebody off the top of my head automatically. Damn, I can't think of nobody off the top of my head for real. From Southside, it's up the street from Walker. We got down up the street from Sierra. But they was older than me, so I ain't necessarily grew up with them. Nobody I think just necessarily in my class I can think of off the top of my head. I know after we get done with this shit, I'm gonna remember somebody too and be like, damn, I have to hit them up like, fuck, my bad. But yeah, nobody off the top of my head in the same age range, yeah.
What would you say Atlanta really teaches you as a man?
Atlanta really teaches me as a man. I don't know for real, what the city has necessarily taught me as being maybe a person, not necessarily a man. It's like,
I would say person.
Yeah, I ain't no, blackness is not really like a monolith, you feel me? Like, ain't no real, this is what black people do, you feel me? It's all different shades, different colors, and different like attitudes, interests, likes, and all that shit here in the city. And that's what I really like about it. Like, of course, you watched Atlanta. I don't know if Atlanta is like the only depiction of the city, but it does give you like the hood nigga that also enjoys goddamn martial arts, or also enjoys fucking brain surgeon science, anything like that. Like, it's so many different aspects of people in Atlanta. It's specifically black people, 'cause I don't really know too many white folk for real. But like, like I said earlier, you can't put folks in a box for me. That's it. It's probably like that in Dallas too, though.
Yeah, Dallas is a lot. Like, it's a melting pot of so many cultures into one. But it's really cool though. It's really, really cool.
My cousin moved out there and shit. Like, cousin from Detroit, she moved out there.
Would she like it?
Yeah, she love it actually. I say Detroit, like, for the most part, all my folk from Detroit don't really necessarily rave about it. You know what I'm saying? I loved it because I would go out there for the summers, but that shit, Detroit, goddamn, that's a spot for real. Like, that shit's tough. Shout out, like, my mom tell me about this shit all the time. It's a different world. You know what I mean? So she was happy to move out, but they still love where they from.
Right. Now, I want to dive into your journey as an artist because I know that you started at 12, 13?
It was something like that. I can't even remember no more. Since he got, I don't remember nothing no more. This shit's dead.
So with that being said, when you were that young, did you just know that rap was gonna be something?
Hell no. Like, rap wasn't even nothing. I didn't even pick this shit up on my own at all. Like, I had an uncle. All right, so my uncle used to rap. My Uncle Marlon. He used to rap and shit. And then he had met, I can't remember how the fuck he met Bruh family and shit, but it was another dude named Noon that I went to school with. His real name Raphael and shit, but he was rapping. And my uncle used to take him to the studio and shit. And my uncle was trying to make a group, but he ain't have nobody else to make the group, and then he wanted to manage it and shit. So he picked me on, and he used to write my raps. And all that shit. Like, when I started out, I wasn't even writing no raps. I didn't pick up rap. I didn't care about rap. I was listening to shit here and there, but I wasn't really like no super hip hop kid or no shit like that. He put me onto it. I was like, fuck it, goddamn, I don't do nothing but go to the skate rink anyway. So shit, he put me onto it, started writing, started going to the studio. Then one day, I don't know if I did it out of like just competitive nature and no shit like that, but I wrote my own verse, and it was like, damn, I actually kind of like this. So I just kept going from there. Like,
so this was at like your early age. You was going to the studio.
Yeah.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. So my mama used to hate that shit. Going back to leaving the house and shit like that, but she used to trip.
What would she say? Like,
I used to come home smelling like weed and all that shit. She was like, bro,
yeah.
nigga, you 12. What the fuck is going on? Her and my uncle would get into it and shit, but that shit worked out for the best because we here, you know what I mean? So.
Wow, and how does your uncle feel like with your success now?
He loves it. Loves it for real. Like, I don't think he ever thought the shit would get to this point because, like I said, this wasn't something that I guess I'd say I was like naturally gifted at or no shit like that. Even now, I don't feel like this is my end all be all. It feels like something, it's like, damn, it's something I can provide, take care of my family, and I like to do it. I'm saying I got other passions. I want to dance, goddamn, a little ticking ass nigga and shit. I want to act, I want to do hella other shit, but this is where I'm at in my life right now, you feel me? And he's excited to see it.
Oh, I love that so much. Now, who would you say were some influences for you back then?
I'm talking like musically?
Yes.
Shit. I remember the first album that I heard for real that I like, it damn near stopped everything for me. I remember the space I was in. I remember where I was at. 6th grade, I was on the bus. We was going on like a field trip or something to DC, and it was the Game documentary album. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. That shit crazy. Like, bro lost his mind with that shit. That one. Early on though, Game for sure. T.I. for sure. Wayne my favorite rapper ever. But like, as life went on, I feel like it became less about just outward rapping to me, and it was more about like the vulnerability too. So I would say my favorite 3 albums, I have the documentary from the Game, Frank Ocean, Nostalgia Ultra, and 808s and Heartbreaks from Kanye.
Okay, you got a good look. It's fire.
Yeah.
Like, you named all, especially the Game's documentary
crazy.
album.
Yeah.
That really set a lot of tones.
That shit had so many fucking Westside Story, Dreams, like the shit with Eminem, No More Fun and Games, Start My Life from Scratch. It's hella shit on that album, dog. That album's crazy. Crazy as hell. Like,
I'm telling you.
Bro Cameron, that was his debut album, the first one. It was nobody to me that had a better debut than the Game until Roddy came with Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. And I would say Kendrick, but I don't count What's the Name as his debut. I don't count Good Kid, Mad City as his debut. Yeah, so, but yeah, it's my favorite debut album ever.
Wow, man. Now, when it comes to your style of rap, you know, you could have took the, I would say like the trap rap type of like the fast beats, like all of that, but instead you more so are like storytelling in a sense. So what made you not automatically take that route of just like, you know, the trapped out, fast beats, fast paced?
I think when I started out like 12, 13 and all that shit, like that wasn't really, for one, it wasn't really as popular as it is now. It wasn't a craze for real. So when I started out, when I used to go to the studio with my uncle, I'd go to the studio with my partner Few and shit, it used to be nothing but like grown men in the studio and shit like that. So literally I'm in there like, damn, I'm trying to rap like these niggas, you feel me? Like they was rapping, they was actually rapping and shit, and I'm trying to rap better than them, you feel me? So it wasn't really necessarily, I didn't really have no rhythm even back then at the time. Like I could put a bar together and put it on beat, but as far as actually having rhythm and being able to delve in the pockets and shit like that, that wasn't me for real. I didn't know how to do that. So all I really had was the imagination of being able to create the story, and talk about what I've seen and shit like that. So I don't know, it just felt like the first thing. And you know what I'm saying, from the first thing that became the thing that I fell in love with the most. And now, as I'm getting older, you know what I'm saying, as I'm experimenting more with music and shit like that, like I'm starting to jump into different waves and shit. Like I can rap on the trap shit and I can still be able to tell my story. I can get sing or do whatever the third. But that's what I fell in love with. So that's what I stood with. You know what I mean? And shit, I ain't gonna cap, man. I'm glad I stood with it. Cause if you look at like the big three, the big whoever of hip hop, like most of the people who stick around is the folks who telling them stories that folks can relate to. Like, of course you need hits and shit like that, but yeah.
Right, that's so true. And I want to talk about your college days because that played a significant, significant time in your journey. So let's talk about your journey in college. Let's talk about it.
What you want to know? What you want to know?
I did not know that you were getting your degree in nursing.
Yeah.
You were getting your degree in nursing.
Yeah.
But we are here now.
It's crazy, like my mom's a nurse, so it was goddamn pre-med bio. That's what I went for. But I didn't really want to go for real. Like, you know how most people pick a path just based off of like what people want for them and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's what I was. I mean, at 18, people would be expecting us to make like super big choices about life and shit. And it's like, bro, I don't know shit. I don't know nothing. I just got out of high school where we woke up at 8 o'clock every day and just took classes and shit. So that's a big decision to make when you 18, shawty. So I didn't really know what I wanted. I just knew what would make my mom happy. So I went that route. I think I changed my major probably like maybe 2 or 3 times while I was in school. I mean, because I was there, and I never wanted to go, but I do suggest that anybody that's going through that shit right now, go. Even if it ain't for just like the class experience, if you can find a way to get the money, whether it be grants, whether it be family, any of that shit, like go. Because the experience itself, I met a lot of people, shawty, that changed my fucking life.
In college?
Hell yes.
Really?
And it changed my fucking view of the world a little bit. Cause like I said before, I don't really know too many white people. And that was my first time going to a place. I went to a PWI. I was down there at Georgia Southern, like 3 hours from here. So that was my first time really getting that kind of culture shock for real. And that shit changed my perspective on a lot of shit. It allowed me to see like, what the fuck I think is normal ain't normal to everybody. You know what I mean? Like my world ain't the end all be all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That shit be weird because a lot of times, you know what I mean, folks don't be making it out of the side of their hometown and shit like that. Like beforehand, I hadn't even been outside 285 for the most part, like except for a field trip or going to Detroit with the family and shit, but I didn't go to Cali, I didn't go overseas and no shit like that, so I couldn't see the rest of the world. But to see folks coming to school and they were from fucking Arkansas, for goddamn Maine or Mississippi or whatever the case is, like their word was completely different from mine. And that shit allowed me to say, okay, there's more to this shit than Atlanta, Riverdale, Clayco, all that shit. Like, it was just different.
Was it kind of like a culture shock for you in a sense?
Yeah. I'm about to say in a lot of ways. You got, I don't want to do the stereotypical shit, but people know. Some folk goddamn wouldn't use like washcloths and shit like that. Goddamn, you got the white folk in there, niggas snorting coke and shit like it's just normal. I'm like, man, I ain't never seen nobody just, it's Tuesday, it's 3 p.m., what the fuck? Like, it's different. And just not even just the bad shit, even some good things. It's like, damn, I never really thought about this shit like that because I've never had to, you feel me? So, I don't know, it's just to say it's a bigger world than wherever you at. Go see that shit. Or go find somebody who has and talk to them.
And if I'm not mistaken, you started your career in college as well, in a sense, like started taking it serious?
Yeah, slick, yeah.
How were you doing that?
Broke as hell, trying to figure it out. All right, so like I said, I started rapping when I was 12. Then I stopped for real when I was like maybe 16 or something like that. Cause I started doing the dancing shit and I really started going to the skating rink more and started smelling myself, you know what I'm saying? You getting older, fucking hoes and shit like that. So I was doing all of that, but when I got to school, I knew I didn't want to be there for actual school. So I was like, damn, but I am 18, so I gotta figure something out. So I picked back up what I knew. And I met my partner, I don't know if you know Garfield Lamont. He be with Thug, he's Thug's manager now. But he used to just be like doing videography and shit. I met him, he had just shot something for Trinidad James at the time. It's when I think I'll Go Everything just came out. So we was shooting shit for them. And before I met him, folks was telling me like, yo, it's a videographer out here. If you really serious about your shit, hit him up, yada, yada, yada. So I hit him up, and he told me his prices, and that nigga was like, yeah, $1,000 for a video. I was like, boy, I'll holler at you later, but I ain't got it, boy. I ain't got it. So I ended up copping a fucking Nikon camera from one of my homegirls, chick named Kim. Got it from her for I think like $200, $250 or something like that. And I was just shooting little videos in my room. And from there, Garfield, my boy G, he saw it, and he was like, damn, I actually fuck with it. You know what I mean? Like, you actually putting forth the effort to do shit, let's run it. And from there, we just kept dropping shit. We was dropping something every week. It was just a little segment we had going called New Atlanta Tuesdays. These little freestyles and shit. And from there, shit just kept picking up. And that's when I decided to take the shit for real.
And if I'm not mistaken, you got a lot of cosigns with the New Atlanta. So talk about those cosigns.
That shit was different, shawty. Like, so it's another story. Before I put out this project called Good, it was a mixtape that me and my boy over there knocked out. It made, this was like 2014, I wanna say, 14 to 15. I was about to put it out, and one of my partners, I called him probably like 2 days before we was gonna put it out, and told him, and he stopped me. Not on disrespectful shit or nothing like that, but he was like, bro, if you put this album out tomorrow, who really gonna give a fuck about it? Dead ass, like straight like that, exact quote. And it was like, damn, that shit kind of cut me a little bit, but as he kept going, he was like, no, seriously, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to just throw it out there and ain't nobody really gonna listen to it but that week, and then the next week it's like, okay, we on to the next, because this shit moves so fast now. It's like, he told me, whatever it is that makes you different, whatever it is that you need to do to build a fan base up beforehand, you need to do that first and then put out the project, because otherwise you just throwing shit at the wall until it stick. And as much as that shit, you know what I mean, kind of cut my ego at the time and hurt the shit, he was right. So I ended up going back to the crib. I got into a car accident. After I got into the car accident, I got hit by some Africans. You know, Africans be having money and shit. And niggas hit me and they put me in a goddamn, it was a drop top Camaro. Drop top Camaro, I had that shit for like 3 weeks. From there, I ended up making a freestyle video in the car, in the Camaro. I had my little brother record that shit and everything. It was the first one. It was over like, I think, 2 Chainz song, some shit like that. But literally like 2 days after that, Charlamagne hit me up on Instagram, like out of nowhere. He hit me up. I dropped another one probably like 5 days after that. Wale hit me up. Right after, it was like, damn, what the fuck is going on? Like, at first I didn't even believe this shit. It's like, okay. And then from there, we just kept doing them. I ended up dropping some shit. It was like a Black Lives Matter freestyle over some Kendrick shit. And the Shade Room picked it up. And then the dude named Mark Pitts, managed Biggie, brought J. Cole into the game, all that shit. He hit me on Instagram. I didn't even believe that shit was real either. I was like, I ignored that nigga at first. For I didn't even reply back. He kept hitting me up like, bruh, I fuck with this shit. Literally, I think it was like 2 weeks later, we was on a plane in New York. Wanted to sign, all that shit. So that shit changed everything.
Wow.
Literally, the power of fucking social media. That shit wild.
And within those moments of you first starting the freestyles and then getting those major cosigns, in the midst of that, did you ever hit a time where you were like, oh my God, when is this stuff gonna pay off?
Shit, nigga, that shit still be like that, for real. Like, it's paying off for sure. Like, I'm blessed to be able to say, I mean, I can take care of myself, take care of my family through music. But I'm saying, you always want more. Always, you know what I'm saying? That's another thing I'm trying to learn now, that the destination is definitely like an amazing part, but you gotta have fun with the like step-by-step process. So even on days when I be going down on myself and shit like that, where it be like, damn, this shit ain't popped off how I wanted to, or you know what I'm saying, comparison is the thief of joy. You might look at the person to your left or your right and be like, damn, I want what they got, or damn, I want what they got, but what they got ain't for you, and you don't know what they had to do to get what they got, or what they had to go through, or whatever, all the cliche shit, you feel me? But it's tough. You know what I mean? And it was a lot of days like that. There's a lot of days like that. They're few and far between now, but they still happen now. You feel me? So yeah, still reaching every day, trying to get better and trying to get to a point. Just having fun with the shit.
And the importance of consistency as an artist.
Boy, talk to that nigga right there. That's all he be talking about every day. Like, just show up for real. Like, a lot of the times we look at this shit, and like I said, you look to the person to the left and right, and you might say like, damn, that just blew up out of nowhere. That shit looks so easy, but shit, them folks might have been working for goddamn 15 years, and you just don't know it. Like, it looked like it was a flash in the pan, but that shit, it wasn't overnight, you feel me? So I don't know, it's just showing up every day, anything that you work at every day, ain't no way you can lose. Anything. Like, you may not be getting down the biggest person in the world. You may not be Jay-Z, whatever the case, but you're gonna be able to take care of what you need to take care of if you work some shit every day. Ain't no way that opportunity don't eventually meet preparation if you chip away at that shit every single day. So that's the only thing for real. I'm trying to show up, like, literally. Even on days where the shit don't come out how I want it to. Like, it might be right shit, it might come out trash as hell. Like, but comparing that shit to, like, you ever been to a new house, a little renovated joint?
Yes.
Turn on the faucet in that motherfucker and it's like the dirty ass brown water. Eventually after that shit run for a minute, you get to the clear shit. So you gotta get that shit out to get to where you wanna get to out of that. So just showing up.
Now I'm gonna keep it completely transparent.
Oh,
I became
man.
a late
ask me
fan
about
of yours just with the Dreamville's Revenge tape.
Okay.
So
Shout out to
when I
Dreamville.
first heard you, it was the song PTSD.
Yeah.
I went to that, then I was like, oh shoot, I gotta go through his catalog.
Yeah.
I initially thought that you were signed to Dreamville at first.
But if I had $1 for every person that say that shit, oh my God, I wouldn't need to rap. That shit crazy. Like, that's the whole team though. Shout out to Dreamville, shout out to him as gang. But no, I'm not. I'm signed to RCA and By Storm. That's my folk. It's kind of like cousins in a sense, yeah, big. But that whole experience, dog, like, that shit felt like a full circle moment for real. It's like going to college, I could relate to a lot of the shit that Cole was talking about at the time when I was coming up. It was like the real struggling artist, drop out of college, trying to find your way and shit. So that's something I was going through at that time of my life. So it's like, I really gravitated to that shit. Even if you go back to, like, you remember the Dollar in the Dream tours they used to have and shit. They got a documentary on HBO. I was in the line for one of them here in Atlanta. I got kicked out the line and everything for trying to skip the line and all that shit. Kicked out the bitch, ended up finessing my way back in. Probably like the last 10 people to make it in. But all that to say, going from that to going to being in the studio with them niggas and dropping the shit, that shit was crazy, bro. Like, but that alone was telling me, like, you're on the right track, bro. Just keep showing up. Just keep doing what you do, you feel me? Like, sometimes you need them little confirmations, because out of time, you'd be like, damn, nigga, is this shit worth it? Is it working? A little confirmation come along and this shit make it all worth it.
Now, where were you right before this opportunity presented itself to you?
At the crib. At the crib. I think I was goddamn in the bed. I just called this nigga, as a matter of fact, because everybody was dropping them little golden tickets that they had. They was posting on Instagram like, hey, got my ticket to the Dreamville's studio session, this, that, and the third. And I saw that shit was in Atlanta. I can't even lie, I was pissed as hell. I was like, ain't nobody called me, ain't nobody said nothing at all. I ended up writing probably like 10 verses that night. So I was like, damn, I gotta go harder if niggas in my backyard and ain't said nothing. The next day, I ended up getting the call. Literally the next day after that shit, it was like, bro, pull up. And that shit just felt like, all right, the opportunity mean preparation thing again. It's like if you work, anything that you work at, shawty, God ain't really, I believe in God. I don't know if everybody else do, but
Sure do.
man, God ain't gonna have you out here working at this shit for 3 years and just be like, nah, ain't nothing gonna come from it. Even if that something is leading you to something else, which is an opportunity in itself, but it don't happen like that, you feel me? So, yo.
I will definitely say, like, when those moments, I always know something really good is gonna happen when the moments before are just where you're like finna check out mentally and be like,
be like, fuck all of this. Man, that shit be the worst. Cause like, bro, what the fuck am I doing this for, dog? Like, and then that shit happen, bro. And that really be the hardest part, cause it be a lot of days where people be like, damn, this shit don't feel like it's going nowhere. But when you still do that shit, even on them days, it's like, bro, that's something you love. That's something you love to do, shawty, and that shit gonna pay off in one way or another. You know what I mean? It's gonna pay off. Like,
now, what was the creative process like with you working with them on your songs?
Shit was weird, man. Like, you'll go in one room and it'd be like T.I., Chains, and Swiss Beats in that motherfucker. Then you go upstairs and it's Cole, Vince Staples, and Rick Ross in that motherfucker. It was like 40 rooms in there. So literally every room you go in, there's somebody else working and shit. So it was really, really like jump in, get in where you fit in. Cause ain't nobody just gonna hold your hand through that shit. It's like a lot of folk was there that I had never met before. And I saw a lot of people kind of like playing the wall. like, man, I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. I'm not gonna really put nothing down. But the folks who was jumping in, putting shit down, like, it was some folk I had never met, like Buddy or goddamn Smino or Saba, all them niggas I had never met. I had heard about them and shit like that, but nigga, they was jumping in. Literally, it's like, you can't be scared of that shit. And everybody who jumped in and did what they were supposed to do ended up on the project, you feel me? Like, so it was really like a test of confidence and faith. You're doing that shit. I think I made like 17 songs when I was in there.
Woo.
Yeah, it was a lot of shit. A lot of shit I ain't heard since, for real, for real. They got them hard drives locked up in the Dreamville warehouse somewhere. But yeah, there was a lot of shit going on.
Your debut project, Better.
Yeah.
That's therapy.
Thank you, Shawty. Yeah, nah, thank you, man.
That is therapy.
Glad you fuck with it.
Yes, I just want to know where your mindset, I mean, not your mindset, but your state of mind was when you recorded this project.
That shit was what, 2018? I don't be remembering shit no more. I just be writing shit, man. I don't know, just certain shit you be going through for real, for real. I think we had recorded half of it when we got back from tour with Jid. And I think that was like Got Money Now, How TF, Angels and all that shit. So the latter half came after that tour. I feel like the tour taught us a lot about just song making, just seeing how bro performed certain shit. And you can see the crowd, the back and forth, the chants and shit. Like you like to go to a show, it's like folks can rap all day. Rapping is impressive and shit like that, but you want to hear a good song, right? Like rapping I almost feel like a dog jumping through a ring of fire. If you see that shit one time, it's like, oh shit, that shit crazy as fuck. But you see it 19 more times, it's like, all right, bro. God damn, nigga, that shit, it's impressive. It was impressive, but so that shit taught me a lot about songwriting because that's the shit that stay forever. I mean, if you hear a great verse, you're gonna listen to that shit a couple times and it might resonate with you, but that song, that Michael Jackson or that goddamn Anita Baker, that shit gonna last for 40, 50 years. A good song. So that shit taught me about songwriting for real, for real. So I feel like that's what my mindset was for the latter half of the album.
That growing up mother guy.
Hey, fuck with it, man. Thank you.
That was one of them ones.
Thank you. I ain't even write that shit for real.
You freestyled it?
Nah, I didn't write that at all.
Oh.
I'm fucking with you.
I was gonna say, wait, what?
You disappointed as hell.
It sounded a little too personal. Like,
nah, I'm about to say
that was one of them
Thank
ones.
you, Shawty. Appreciate it.
For sure.
Appreciate it.
Now, we also have your recent release, Every Day is the 14th.
Yeah.
I saw El Hay on there.
Yeah, that's my boy. Shout out,
you know what? What was it like working with him on this project?
Shout out, so me and him been overdue to do a lot of shit for real, for real. We got some more that we working on, but literally, we just had to put it together. Me and that nigga, I think we met, this was like maybe 3-4 years ago. On some bullshit, playing video games at this damn show. And that nigga was talking shit, had to smack that nigga goddamn. But from there, we just kept chatting. And then niggas actually finally put down the song. So yeah, that shit was fire.
Now the title, Every Day is the 14th, where does that come from?
That's like an ode to, you heard Love Below.
Yeah.
Every day is the 14th. That shit, so that's like an ode to, cause that's the space I'm in right now. It's real, I don't want to say like lovey-dovey, because love got so many different fucking aspects to it. You got the dark side of love, you got the light side of love, you got lust, you got infatuation, all that shit. So I feel like that's something that I talk about really well because I'm an emotional nigga, you know what I'm saying? Pisces and shit.
Are you CLB, Certified Lover Boy?
Maybe. I was about to say maybe. Drake really slick, owe me some pub for that shit. That's my life. But yeah, like, yeah.
And with the release of this EP, you also are gearing up for your sophomore album.
Yeah.
I don't want to spill the beans, but I know you got 2 singles coming up. Okay. Can you spill it? We can't spill it.
What you gonna say?
I don't want to say the names because I want you to say the names.
No, you can't say the names. I don't even know. I gotta check with management. Can we good? We good? Say less. All right, you can say whatever you want.
Okay, so we got Big K.R.I.T in this thing. The guy Westside Boogie in this thing. Like, you got to talk to us about that.
I'm about to say, K.R.I.T, man, my uncle put me on the K.R.I.T when I was like, I had to be 15 or something like that. My uncle from St. Louis came down. He used to play. He put me on Cole too. Cole, K.R.I.T, got down Currency, Wiz, all that shit that was popping at the time. He used to listen to music like crazy. UGK, all that shit. But he put me on the K.R.I.T. And K.R.I.T got one of my favorite projects ever. That K.R.I.T was his mixtape, bruh. I'm talking about bro was rapping for his fucking life on that shit. So to come down 10 years later and to be able to like have him on a project of mine, so that shit is surreal as hell. Like, it's crazy, bro. And then Boogie, that nigga be rapping his ass out too. I already know you know about bro. That nigga going crazy.
Don't even give me
crazy.
I love Big K.R.I.T, but Westside Boogie,
Yeah.
like that.
What's your favorite
man,
Boogie song?
You gotta make me go through my
Go ahead,
Music.
go ahead.
Like,
He got some shit.
Bro, he just don't. I feel like I hate the word underrated. He's not underrated, but Westside Boogie, when it comes to
rapping
this,
his ass out.
that man is
Crazy.
And then y'all two together.
Has she heard it? The song? You play for her or anything? Okay, cool. I'm gonna let you hear that shit before we go. But yeah, the shit.
I can only imagine.
Crazy,
even you with Big K.R.I.T, like that's crazy.
Same track. This shit gonna be wild. Like, all of the songs, man, like, the album in itself, niggas was racking, we was racking our brain for so long trying to figure out a way to make a fun concept album, you know what I mean? Like, most of the concept albums, I be hearing them shits be so serious, they be so fucking, that shit be seeming boring, shout it like, the niggas figured it out. And that shit relates to where a nigga at in life. Like, I don't want to give too much away, but I'm proud as hell of the project. I'm extremely proud.
Now, this sophomore album, what does it mean to you?
Everything. It's growth. It's goddamn a reflection of my life right now. This feels like the more, like, Better felt like a combination of my life, everything before we dropped that. You know what I'm saying? Once you drop your debut album, you feel me? Like, that's supposed to be your whole life up until that point. But then from there, you have to find other subject matter to go to and shit. It's like, damn, that shit get a lot quicker because maybe you got like 2 years worth of shit to talk about in the next album or a year worth of shit to talk about in the next one. I feel like niggas did a really, really good job on this one, shout it. Like, I might send you a goddamn Dropbox link and let you hit all.
We are excited.
For sure. Thank you.
We are excited. Now, before we wrap up, you got any last words or shout outs?
Waffles or pancakes?
French toast.
Okay. All right. X Factor, I like that shit. Okay.
French toast. Yeah, French toast.
I'm a waffle nigga, but I fuck with that answer. I like it. Okay. Tequila or Hennessy?
Tequila, all the way.
Real nigga. Okay, you got 2 for 2. Let's see. Fuck with tacos?
Every day.
For sure.
Every day.
All right, I'm gonna let you rock. All right, you 3 for 3. That's it. Shout out to waffles. Fuck anybody who like pancakes. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Don't fuck no midgets. I would, but you shouldn't. Love y'all. Peace.
Met this little diva from the west side. I won't say it's love, but I will fuck you. And I even let her see my